Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Did you know that this week from the 1st of August to 7th of August is actually breastfeeding International Breastfeeding Awareness Days? I thought you should know. And if you've not viewed the last video I did about breastfeeding and the benefits of breastfeeding, please click the link down in the description so that you can be able to see what I had already talked about. So guys, if you're looking for a place to either shoot your videos, do your birthday parties, I'm told you can just come in for a sit-in and eat and have a nice meal. My favorite currently are these kaimatis and this black African tea. Honestly, sijakula kaimati zinaonja hivi kama ambaye niko coast na siko coast. These things are nice. Hit COCOSOUK up. I'll also link their socials below the description box. But let's now move ahead and talk about breastfeeding. In honor of Breastfeeding Awareness Week, I would like to again talk about what are the benefits of breastfeeding and what are the challenges we are currently facing, either in Africa or particularly in our country, Kenya, in regards to breastfeeding. So let's just go ahead and start with what are the benefits of breastfeeding. You already know these things, I think, but let me just again give it like a quick wrap up. It increases the bonding of the mother and the child. When a mother is breastfeeding, you see there's that position where you're looking at your baby breastfeeding while they're doing it and you're doing it, and you have that connection with the child while you're doing it. So it increases the bond between a mother and the child when you're breastfeeding. The second thing, it's a wholesome meal. You get water, you get all the minerals and vitamins and every other thing that you require from breast milk. So si kitu ambayo you can, like, for example, say mtoto choo yake imekuwa ngumu, so I have to substitute water for the breastfeeding. No, when you're breastfeeding, you're just supposed to exclusively breastfeed, because majority or most of the content of breast milk anyways is water. So your baby is getting enough hydration and also enough minerals and even things to help him or her fight infections. Now that will take me to the third point. It helps with fighting infections. As you've noticed, most of the times neonates or children who are exclusively breastfed, it's highly unlikely for them to be under medication unless really required for them to be under medication, because they already get the necessary protection for these common ailments. So number 3, it is also protective and it offers immunological support or protectiveness for the child while they are doing they're on exclusive breastfeeding. However, no, if it's not exclusive, but yes, of course, breast milk helps with the immunoglobulins and stuff like that. The fourth thing, breast milk is totally and completely, like as I already said in point 2, that it's a wholesome meal. So with breast milk, it comes with a lot of other benefits. For example, it is said it is protective with this infantile obesity. I don't know if you've seen kids who like are really huge for their weight, for their age. Watoto ni wanono, lakini maybe it's because not necessarily all the time, but labda walianza formula mapema ama they started mixed feeding mapema. With breast milk, it prevents against such things like infantile obesity, and it makes you to have a baby that is of course all-rounded. There are certain conditions that might hinder a mother or even the child from getting exclusively breastfed, but that is not what we're going to concentrate on in this video. So now let's go to the hindrances or the things that are setting us back in terms of breastfeeding in this nation. We don't have enough law enforcement or laws that are helping us in terms of people breastfeeding, especially maybe in cases where people want to breastfeed in public. The second thing is the society or rather society norms, or maybe you can just say society setbacks. People think sometimes in the society, like particularly in my country, it's really almost hard to want to breastfeed in the major cities in public, because people think of it as either gross or maybe just inappropriate, of which it is not okay to think that breastfeeding a child in public is supposed to be a problem, considering the fact that the mother is the one who's constantly carrying the baby's food everywhere they go. So it's on demand. Breastfeeding is supposed to be on demand. Not necessarily when you think you need to be breastfeeding the child, but whenever the child feels they need to breastfeed. So assuming niko katikati ya tao na mtoto ametaka kunyonya, you will have to do that. But of course, because of how the society views this whole thing about breastfeeding, it's still like a setback to us, where you realize you cannot really breastfeed your child in the middle of the street because people are going to view it as very, very inappropriate. The third thing, of course, now with the socio-economic things happening, and more so on the economical part, we realize now that fathers are not the only providers of the home, and there are some homes which also do not have only fathers, or maybe like fathers as the sole breadwinner. Some families are also made up of just mothers, and in that case the mother needs to go back to work and provide for the family. So because of that strain in the economical sense, and thinking, oh, I have to provide for my family, somebody has to go to work, and sometimes it hinders having to get enough of that milk supply going on to get the baby to be exclusively breastfed. The other thing, there's some cultural issues even in our community, where I realize people are saying it's not supposed to be like this, or breastfeeding moms are not supposed to be using certain things. So automatically, whenever you're using a certain either medication, or maybe it's not medication, or your choice of lifestyle, people already make you feel you need not to be breastfeeding enough, or you need not to be breastfeeding. So that cultural experience of setback also is one of the setbacks that we're experiencing as a nation in terms of breastfeeding, and how people need to be more aware about the whole breastfeeding experience. The other thing, before I forget, is not really in, I don't know how to put it, but not really in society and cultural, but there are people who have other medical conditions, but because of the fear of expressing it. For example, a mother could be having inverted nipples, or maybe you'd had normal nipples but you did not know how to latch, so you end up getting cracked nipples, and afterwards you feel like you're demotivated to breastfeed. We don't have enough maybe I could say even channels, maybe for people who would want to like come on YouTube and find out, what is this normal, is it not normal? And we don't have that culture per se to want to research on ourselves. We'd want people to be telling us what to do, what is happening to us. So that's also a setback that is making us not really exploit fully on how beneficial as a country, as a nation, we could be getting full benefits of breastfeeding if everyone was aware of how exactly breastfeeding should be done, and how it should be done, and when it should be done, and how to actually motivate these mothers on how to do it. So what are some of the solutions to the setbacks that we already have as a nation? Of course, in matters law enforcement and things like that, you can and things like that. There are certain laws that are already being put into place about the same. That is one. The second thing that I can advise, for example, for people who might be having issues like cracked nipples, inverted nipples, and things like that. Personally, I did a video, I think last year around the same time, describing these situations or these conditions and how you can be helped if you have such. And the other thing I had talked about in terms of if you're a career woman and maybe you might need to, you'd still want to breastfeed. Personally, as you can see, I'm a very, I wouldn't say very, but I'm a career woman too. And the only thing that saved me from having to balance work and still breastfeed was pumping my own or expressing milk so that I could have enough bulk. By the time I'm going back to work, my child would still have milk to take while I'm at work, and I wouldn't be worried because I had a lot of supply either in the fridge or in the refrigerator. And I would constantly express. And what I'd like to advise women who are watching this is, if you keep on expressing, the more you express, the more milk you'll get, the constant supply you'll get. But the problem is, we tend to forget that the more you are doing it, the more you're going to generate. So people want to express like a whole bulk, and then later on go home or go to work and then forget about it. So the more you keep on expressing, the more you're definitely going to get. And of course, about the societal norms and people feeling embarrassed about it, it's high time as mothers, and even as husbands of these mothers and as brothers of these mothers, we need to stand up and show people that it is not inappropriate to breastfeed in public. It is not bad manners to breastfeed in public. It is not wrong to do these things. And I think at some point we're going to reach at that level where we know that whatever we are doing is actually right and it's beneficial to our future generation. In case you have any questions about this topic or anything that you've watched in my videos and maybe you've liked, please do follow me at all my social media handles at Drsarucynthia on IG, Facebook, TikTok, and even here on YouTube. Do comment down below and let's engage. Tell me what is the difficulty that you have faced as a mother or as somebody who knows a mother who had challenges with breastfeeding. I would like us to be able to expound on this so that we can have a society that has babies who are fully breastfed and fully healthy, so that we can build that next generation. Until next time, love and love.